Thanks for joining us for another edition of our Fantasy Game Day Sunday Stars 10-minute tips here at Good Teams Win, Great Teams Cover. We give you our top tips for the UK's fastest growing and best NFL daily fantasy platform, Fantasy Game Day, and you should come and get involved if you're not playing already. Sign up using promo code COVER and you'll receive a free entry after your first play, £7.50 credit directly in your Fantasy Game Day account to be spent on many of their wonderful games. If you're new to daily fantasy or experienced, there's £3 entries, £25 lineup entries for your high rollers, plenty of ways to get involved. So go download it now, use promo code COVER, and make sure you're 18 years or over in the UK. And of course, please gamble responsibly. Let's jump into the 10-minute tips this week, and we've made sure we've got all the right prices and all the latest injury news this week. Byron, do you want to start with your quarterback selection this week?
Absolutely. I am going with Shedeur Sanders. We're still on Black Friday sales, apparently. Cyber Monday has increased all the way through to Cyber Saturday. Tennessee Titans are the third most advantageous quarterback matchup over the last 5. They give up an additional 4.5 points per game to quarterbacks. Shedeur has not been fantastic, but the Browns are favored here, and he's quarterback 23 on the slate, the cheapest starting quarterback you can get. The budget for your team has gone up to £45,000, but that doesn't mean you just not seek out value. If you can get a cheap-ish quarterback in there or the cheapest starter on the slate, you're going to be able to stack around him. I've gone 2 more expensive wide receiver running back later, so I still want it to be budget-friendly. And I think Shedeur can go off for maybe 20 points this week against a very, very poor Tennessee team.
Excellent. I've also been shopping in the bargain bin. I've gone for JJ McCarthy. And while the Commanders have improved in the last couple of weeks defensively, I don't think they're particularly great. They give up 255 yards a game passing. I think maybe a week or so out, a couple of weeks out might have helped. Just take JJ McCarthy out of the firing line. They've got a friendly game at home. This could be one where he gets on the right track, and Justin Jefferson is crying out for a big game. So I'm going to go JJ McCarthy. You've got his legs as well, so he's capable of running, obviously, running a touchdown in as well. So I think at 4,800, potentially really, really good value. Could be a disaster, but I think it's a gamble worth taking. Given the extra budget you get and how cheap he is.
He who dares.
He who dares. Joe.
Yeah, obviously, I've getting a really expensive quarterback versus UT. So I've got Tyrod Taylor at 5,600 against the Dolphins. The Dolphins are the joint 8th worst. They give the most amount fancy points to quarterbacks in the league. And when you just look at the last 4 games, they've given up 20 points to the Saints QB, 16 to the Commanders, 23 to Bills, 33 to Ravens. So the last 4 games, they are giving up a lot of fantasy points. And if Tyler Shaw can throw over 200 yards and get touchdowns, then why can't Tyrod Taylor, who's actually looked pretty decent the last few weeks, and he's got wheels as well, so he can get them rush yards and rushing TDs as well. So I think for the price where you can bulk up elsewhere, I think it's a great choice for Tyrod to make it 2 in a row and 2 wins for the New York Jets.
Excellent. Next up then, we've got our wide receiver option. Byron, we've been talking about cheap options. Do you want to hit us with your premium selection?
Absolutely. The third most expensive player on the slate, the number 1 wide receiver in pricing on the slate, Jackson Smith-Njigba. The Falcons are the second best matchup on the slate for wide receivers. Over the last 5, they give up 6.6 points over average to wide receivers. JSN had his worst game of the season by a lot last week. And I think if there's any chance, Seahawks want to get in that OPOY, maybe keep that chase for 2,000 yards on. He needs to average 166 yards a game the rest of the way. It's Sam Darnold's number 1 target. Everyone knows where the ball's going. I think the Seahawks just continue to rack up points. The Falcons are going to put more fight than the Max Brosmer-led Vikings. So, yeah, I'm expecting a huge performance from JSN this week. I think he's going to be wide receiver 1 on the slate, and I think you find to pay up for him to get there.
Excellent. Joe?
Yeah, I've gone Christian Watson for the Green Bay Packers against the Chicago Bears. I heard a fact today where it was on one of another podcast. I can't remember which one. I'll shout them out later. That the Bears defense, if they don't have a takeaway, they're like the 29th worst defense in the league. So it's usually boom or bust that they're a team. And I think the Green Bay Packers can take advantage of that. Christian Watson's target has been ramping up. So the last 3 weeks, it's gone from 5, 7 to 10 against the Lions. He only got 4 catches, but obviously Jordan Love is targeting him a lot more. And he seems like he's becoming the main man in Green Bay. And he's always great for a huge downfield throwaway. He can catch a long touchdown. So I think against this Bears team, where I think there could be points now. Jordan Love's certainly playing. Certainly, he's playing great the last few weeks. So I think Watson can certainly, benefit from that and get your points at only 4,200.
I've gone for Jacoby Myers. He's quickly becoming Trevor Lawrence's most reliable receiver for the Jacksonville Jaguars since his trade over from the where do they play? Las Vegas Raiders. Jesus Christ. It's late. He's had 6 targets in his last 3 games since coming over after kind of a slightly crazy debut in that Texans game. But yeah, he seems to be getting consistently racking up the yards on a more regular basis. And he's got 2 touchdowns in his last 3 and back-to-back in his last 2 games. So good for another one at least. I think it's a relatively high over-under. I think it's 47.5. Which is usually a good sign. But yeah, he seems to be the number 1 guy for Trevor Lawrence at the minute, and I expect that to continue. Onto our running backs / tight ends. And I'll start with the premium option. It's in the Bengals-Bills game. It's James Cook. Nobody gives up more yards on the ground than the Cincinnati Bengals. It's 150. Is it 153? Oh, actually, sorry, the Giants do marginally. 153 yards, 0.3 yards. The Bengals give up a game, and also the defense is giving up 31 points a game. I'm expecting James Cook to run all over them. You've just got to get the touchdown look that it's James Cook and not Josh Allen to get your bump of your score. But certainly, I think certainly mid-20s minimum if he gets kind of the multiple touchdown games as well. You're looking then well into the 30s, and that's why I'm expecting James Cook to go. He had 32 attempts last week for 144 yards against the Steelers. Like I say, you need a touchdown or 2 to bump that score up. But back-to-back 100-yard games as well. I'm expecting him to make it 3 in a row. Joe?
Yeah, I've gone Quinshon Judkins for the Browns against the Tennessee Titans. The Titans give up the 5th most amount of fantasy points per game at 19.83, and I think it's going to be one of them kind of games where they're going to run the ball a lot because that's how what the Browns do. I know we've got Shadur up top, but I think they're going to rely on this ground game. Judkins is clearly their number 1 running back. He's hitting out nearly 18 carries per game, and that's with some of the games where he started and got injured as well. So he's usually getting around 20 rushes, and he's got 7 touchdowns so far this year. And the last few games, he's getting a few targets in the air. Against the 49ers, he had 3 targets, 3 receptions for 18 yards, which is not a lot, but it just boosted a little bit. And I wonder if Shadur, just with his, with his style of play, there might be a lot of checkdowns for Judkins. So I think at 5,800 to get a clearly number 1 running back is a cheap option for this week.
Excellent. And Byron?
Yeah, I've gone Chase Brown in the same game as James Cook. Cincinnati actually have the best matchup for rushing running backs. The Bills are the worst matchup for stopping rushing running backs. Not so bad against receiving backs, which will be Samaje Perine role. In his last 5, Chase Brown has not got under 15 points in any of those outings. And the Buffalo Bills give you 3.3 points over that on average in the last 5 games. So I think it's going to be points. I think it's going to be a heavy workload for Chase Brown. This end of the season, it happened last year. He was a league winner. I think he's going to be a league and tournament winner this week. So yeah, give me Chase Brown at 6,600. He's running back 9 on the slate, and I think that's very good value.
Excellent. Good stuff. A very efficient work from us this week. Well within the 10 minutes. Reminder, go and join Fantasy Gameday, the UK's fastest growing and best NFL daily fantasy platform. Support the guys. It's independent, UK made, UK owned by UK fans for UK NFL fans. So support them so the guys can keep growing. Use that promo code COVER to get you started. You'll get yourself a free entry after your first play. You've got to go download the app from your App Store, Google Play Store, whatever. You've got to be 18 years or over, of course. And of course, please do gamble responsibly. But come and join us. Have some fun playing all the different games available on Fantasy Game Day. And we'll see you for our NFL Week 14 review on Tuesday. Follow all the socials at GTW_GTC across them all, and go check out the full podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, Podbean, and Overcast.